Oh my gosh, so many people are here.
Whoa.
Hi!
Wow.
Oh my god!
Hello.
Shoji's
So
waving, but you
excited.
can't see him. Welcome to Project Ikigai, a virtual concert. We're here, we're live, and there is how many people?
It's right now 248 people
There's
watching
so
on
many
live
people
stream.
here. Wow, it's incredible. Thank you
Oh
guys.
my goodness.
Yeah, I'm
Yay.
Amy. This is
And
ManMan.
ManMan.
And if I work this out, this is Shoji.
Hello. Welcome everybody. So exciting.
Woohoo!
Hey.
Alright. So, before we begin,
Yes. So welcome to our virtual concert by Project Ikigai. And we are live streaming from Torrance, California, and Shoji in the other part of LA. So a little quick background. Actually, about 2 months ago, I saw Shoji at an ensemble concert. And then we were talking about, oh, Amy's coming to LA from England for a month. And Shoji was like, let's do something. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So originally we decided to have a concert at Asano Taiko US today. And 2 weeks ago, everything has shifted and changed. But we decided that we have to do this. And we'll find ways to do this in any ways that could still bring our message. And I think more than ever at this time that we're experiencing, this channel has become a really good way for us to connect with everyone and find a place that we can feel grounded. So that's how this all happened. Welcome and thank you for joining us. And we also want to thank you, Taiko Community Alliance, for providing us the channel, the live stream channel that we're watching right now.
thank you, TCA.
Yeah, thank you for hosting us. We're really thankful for that. And also we want to thank all the donors from GoFundMe. And right before we log on, we have actually about $2,000 donated.
Wow.
It's really amazing. Thank you so much. And also the Eventbrite
Yay.
tickets. Yeah, everyone has, some people has donated their tickets that they purchased for the concert. So thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead and start our first piece. And our first piece
Yay.
will be opened by Mujō Creative, my taiko group here in
Woohoo.
Torrance.
We love Mujō.
And we're playing one of my original composition called Quitiplas in the Pocket. We play for unity, we play for unity, we play for unity. T-T-Pla. We play for unity, we play for unity, we play for unity. T-T-Pla.
Yay! Wow.
Sorry we had a little time lagging issues earlier, but I think right now we are getting better. Yeah.
Hopefully. We seem to have some.
Anti-lag feature triggered. Okay.
Maybe it's fuzz.
Thank you for bearing with us because we're all learning how to do live stream as of like a couple days ago. So thank you for all the comments and letting us know how we're doing. And so we just try to keep up with all that. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
So just now what you watch is Quitiplas in the Pocket. So actually that piece was, I learned, it's inspired by Venezuelan Quitiplas. That name, a lot of people said, like, how do you pronounce that? My friend Christy said, it sounds like kitty paw. So my friend Jacqueline Rago taught me that when I went to ORF training. And so, you actually get to see a lot of ORF Schubert inspired elements in it, like body percussion. And it's been really awesome to be able to, like, keep practicing and be creative. And you saw how members of my group, like, just find anything they could to practice at home. And I also want to credit actually most of the videos that you're going to see today is edited by Amy, unless we'll tell you otherwise. Basically most of the editing and sound mixing are done by Amy, so we recommend that you use headphones so you can listen to better quality.
Please do. So the next two tracks that we're going to play for you are two songs that were written by me. The first is A Child I Always Am, but actually this one is kind of a collaboration. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about Bon and Kai and how it came about that you guys added the extra song.
So Amy write a lot of songs almost like every day. That's how she journal. So a lot of songs that she writes and we use as Project Ikigai are really good ground for us to invite other friends to play with us and jam with us. So last year at Asano Taiko US Bon and Kai, which usually we recommended not to play taiko at our talent show. And so then my group wants to do something. So I introduced Amy's song, A Child I Always Am. And one of the members of my group, Abby, she immediately think like that song reminded her of another song, The Look of Love. So we came up with this arrangement, a mashup of A Child I Always Am with The Look of Love. And so, which you get to see this version, we finally actually get to join Project Ikigai and Mujō Creative and combine this. So
with both of these songs, A Child I Always Am, Look of Love, and then the second song we'll play, The Earth Teaches, are kind of mantra-esque songs that I've written with this vision in mind of people singing them around campfires and singing them on their own and taking the lyrics and doing their own thing with it. So they're kind of songs that I kind of want to just like give out to the community, and they've taken many different forms depending on who I've played them with in the past. So this is A Child I Always Am.
Child I always am, when if you're
child I always am. Like the trees, I'll dance in the wind, I'll grow in the rain, I'll offer my shade. Like the mountain, I'll always stand strong, and should the earth tremble, I'll grow taller with it all. Like the clouds, I'll flow through the sky, and with each passing moment, I'll let it go by. Like the water, I'll always offer life, and our light is a reflection of the beauty in your eyes. This is what the earth teaches me. This is what the earth teaches me. This is what the earth teaches me. Na na na, na na na. This is what the earth teaches me. Na na na, na na na. This is what the earth teaches me. Na 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 na, na 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 na. This is what the earth teaches me. Na 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 na, na na na. This is what the earth teaches me. Na 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 na, na na na. This is what the earth teaches me.
You're up, Shoji.
Hey, Shoji.
Yay! Yay! Thank you guys for letting me be a part of this. Yeah, this was it's been a really great project to be involved with, and I just want to commend the both of you for like really, instead of, because we had this plan to maybe do something together while Amy was here, and that was, really great. I was really excited about that. But with the coronavirus stuff happening and all the lockdown things happening, we're all like just dealing with a brand new reality, and nobody really knows how long this is going to last. And obviously, we can't like have our taiko practices, our concerts, so much of the things that the taiko world kind of revolves around. We're not going to be able to do in the same way that we have for a little time at least. And so I thought, it was a really great. I really want to sort of give both of you props for like not canceling the concert and really just sort of adjusting and adapting and trying something new, because that's really what we're all going to have to do in these times. For right now, we're going to just have to try a bunch of new things. A lot of things are going to like not go well, some things will go great, but we're all just trying to figure this out together. So I think you guys have done a really, really amazing job in putting together these videos, and thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you, Shoji. So you might have noticed that our camera angle has changed.
Because our laptop camera just frozen.
Yeah,
So-
we're trying to work around. There's a few little glitches and a few hiccups, but thank you for bearing with us.
Yeah, like Shoji said, personally, like when everything was canceling, this is like the only thing I was like, nope, we have to figure this out. Even though immediately we already faced a lot of challenges. Almost like every day, the first week, we'd figure it out by the end of the day, and then the next day we woke up, it's like, oh, nope, we have to start over again, find something else.
New plan.
Yep. And every day I still feel really hopeful and excited, actually. Yeah, and of course there are challenges, and like there were days that's like, oh, we're missing this element of being able to play with each other. And yes, digital collaborations is amazing, and there's so much you can do. Like, yes, we hear you. We also really miss being able to play with each other. So, like, this is a really amazing learning process. And yeah. So, next piece.
Yeah, next piece.
Yeah, actually talking about digital collaborations, and you probably have noticed that we're doing a lot of like figuring a lot of way to still be able to play with each other. And so, like, for example, my group Mujō, we couldn't practice together, and it's actually really fun that once we decided to do this, and I told them, okay, so we can't practice, but here's a task for you. Record yourself playing Jack Bazaar at 90 BPM, and I'm not telling them what we're doing. And same as Quitiplas, here's a track that Amy and I laid down for you. So you remember all the elements you do? Like, go home and find something, like find an object that you can play that part in. So that's why you saw a lot of really random things. And the next piece is there are two pieces that we want to feature. They're both like Kris Bergstrom's composition, and so Kris, it's like celebrate the idea of copyleft, what is the proper name? Copyleft Creative Commons license, and he always say that, like, for example, his piece Jack Bazaar, it's very popular, has become really popular over here. And he always tells us that, but those are elements that he started with, and he really encouraged us to take that and create something of our own. So that's what Amy and I have been doing, and I've been also encouraging Mujō members to do that too. So here you're gonna see KARC Jam by Rassi and Amy. We kind of took a little liberty, like taking the elements and play with it. And then you will see Jack Bazaar, and actually this piece is not edited by us. It's edited by Parker, member of Mujō, and I told him the same thing, like, please, like, because we're working with these circumstances that we're not able to play together, And it's hard to record yourself, and we get so critical of ourselves, which is great. Like one member said that she actually practiced like 60 times of the same track, so yay! And yeah, so you'll see some creative things that we do with this. And so here is KARC and Jack Bazaar by Mujō.
god.
Maybe that will work. If we were really on it. Hey!
Hello.
Oh my
Bye.
god, that's so awesome.
Show Shoji's
Oh.
face. Look at Shoji's face. It's like,
My face is like so sore from like I was smiling the whole time. That was so great. Great job, everybody.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
I want to do
That's
it.
I love that.
Oh.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, it's
We gotta
actually.
show Kris this.
Yeah, Kris has told
Yeah.
me that he is watching. I mean, he told me 2 days ago that he will be watching. He's
Cool.
actually already on. He was already back on this side of the States.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes. He and Ming drove back, and yeah, we've been in touch. I actually invited him to join, but he was driving, so yeah. But he told me that he and Hiro was planning to tune in and watch this. Yeah, we actually get to watch Shoji's face when we were watching the live stream.
We can see you,
But he
Shoji.
couldn't hear us. Like it just like yeah.
And, well, because I haven't seen a lot. Like we did a tech run through last night, and just like everybody, I've been watching your guys' little clips and stuff. And you gave me sneak peeks last night, but I so want to watch everything. So I'm seeing a lot of this stuff for the first time, and that was just, man, that was beautiful. I mean, I just love like everybody's like home setups and just like making do with whatever you have and not letting. It just brings tears to my eyes. It just just that spirit of like just being creative and doing whatever we have to do in these times to continue our art. It's really, really beautiful. Just fantastically done, everybody. Great job, Mujō. You guys rock. That was awesome. So excited. Okay.
Yes, I do want to give a shout out to Mujō members. They are Abby, Akari, Evelyn, Katie, Maxine, Nari, Parker, Rassi, Ritsuko, Vivian, Wendy, and we have Amy playing the hempen. And I also want to point out that actually Parker didn't know Jack Bazaar. So he was actually like studying clips from Kris's blog and then added his own creativity in putting this together. So that's one idea too.
That was like, yeah, that was so good. That was like that was one of the best parts. It was like, you know what I mean? Like didn't know it. That makes it even better because like that was like one of the best parts. Him like doing this like. That was awesome.
Yeah. Great, yeah. And many members have told me throughout the process, we're using one of the app called Slack to stay in touch and share tips with each other. And many of them told us that it's really fun to be able to be in their comfort zone, doing and stretching their comfort zone. Yeah, so these are some ideas for all of us too. Like as you practice at home, how can we be creative within this challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoji, we're gonna pass it to you to talk about the next one that we're gonna play. It's a
Okay. Oh no, me again. The next piece is something like a kind of a concept. It's not like a fully fleshed out piece yet, but I have like a melody and this kind of concept, and I've been messing around with it for the last I don't know, like year or so. And it doesn't have a title yet, so I was thinking it might be fun to pass it to everybody watching this live stream to think of a title. So basically, the basic idea behind the piece was I have this like little fue riff that I just like repeats over and over and over and over. And the idea of it is like I was trying to make the fue sound like an electronic music, part like it just stays the whole time. And the notes stay the whole time, but like you can change the texture of it a little bit and the way that you play it and that kind of thing. And I thought that, when I first came up with this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. This is such a cool idea. And then I brought it to the old ensemble guys, and they were like, Boss was like, wait, I played the same thing for like 4 minutes. Like, this was, they weren't that into it. So, but it's still something I've been experimenting with and trying to find like different, because I think this is think it's a neat idea to try to use the fouet in a but make it really sound and kind of be influenced by a lot of different kinds of music. So that's the concept behind the piece. And it's kind of a little melancholy. And so, it kind of fits with the times maybe. So yeah, that's the idea of the piece. You guys can give put in your suggestions for a title. Because I love making pieces, but I hate coming up with titles.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, Shoji just sent us the clip like a couple days ago. Lost track of time really. And then we were so busy editing videos, and we just like send the audio to Heidi. Do this. My friend Heidi Chen, which is the one who introduced me to Taiko. Yay.
Full circle.
Is
Heidi.
that true?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Heidi
Oh,
is
so
the
you
one
could go way-
responsible.
What?
Yeah, way back. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
sounds like a story.
yeah, I will go into that after we watch this. And
Okay. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah, so Heidi's also doing the mixing for what you're going to watch. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Enjoy.
Yay!
Yeah.
Shoji, that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you for doing that with us.
No, thank you. Yeah.
I'm glad
And
you.
Heidi, shout out to Heidi for like mixing that, and I really love what Heidi, if you're out there, I really love what you added to the track. It was awesome. It was great to play with you. Hopefully we could do it, like in the same room at some point, but it was awesome.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for so long. Like, I know Shoji, like, we kept talking, oh, we need to play, oh, we're gonna get Heidi, yeah, and it's amazing how all of a sudden this just happened within 2 weeks. I'm glad, Shoji, you mentioned that, like, how your idea of, like, simple repetitiveness of a piece, and actually those are really good elements for digital collaborations. Because you're alone, you're playing it over and over again, but that's kind of how we do most of the collaborations this time, or over the course of two years since we started working together, is you send something, like lay down the basic, and then the other person can add, and then you send it back and then add more. So yeah, we really enjoy this.
Yeah, and for my process, like I really enjoyed working this way as well. I was like, normally when I'm putting together tracks, like my brain just thinks of all the different like things, and I put everything in I could possibly think of, and I do things over and over and over. And so if this was really good for me too, because it made me like one, I'm still moving into my house, so I don't have my like full recording setup, so I just have my phone and my laptop and this like one, I have this one Zoom recorder. So working with like a much more reduced like setup than I normally do, that was actually like really, really freeing in a way. And then also I was thinking of like trying to like play with you guys like digitally. And so what that meant for me was like leave more space, like leave more like things that I could hear but don't have to play, and like let somebody else fill in that space. And so I was trying to think of, like that was like kind of my approach when I was putting this together with you all, was like I didn't want to put everything I could hear in there, and just trust that well, I didn't know you were going to send it to Heidi, so that was like such a great like that was such a great surprise. But yeah, just trust that the other people I was collaborating with can fill in some of the other space.
Yeah, definitely. Heidi is always like the most reliable musicians and friend that we can fall back on. We immediately, we gotta send this to Heidi. And then, we were like, we have to ask Heidi to mix this because she's awesome. And also, being able to play at home and like play to recordings actually really enhance your listening experience. One of those biggest challenges, because you're recording, you have a choice to choose like how many takes you do. What we set a rule kind of like so far, like over this, especially now because this time around for this concert we have a deadline, so we have to force ourselves to move forward and let it go. And actually, interestingly, most of the time the first take is the take that we always go back to.
Yeah, so many times.
Yeah, so many times.
What was wrong with the first take? Let's just use that.
Yeah. So that's a lesson too. Like you can allow yourself to go as deep as possible to polish, and then you're also practicing letting go. This is I was gonna talk about the Heidi story, but I think this is a pretty good story already. Save that for another time. Yeah. So I've been reading the comments actually. Having Cosmic Late. Wow. Nicole came up with
Cosmic Labyrinth. Wow.
I can't pronounce it, sorry. Oh, wait. Flute Ocean. Ooh, what is this?
There you go.
Iridescent Whale.
By Eileen Host. Wow, there's so many. And Carizona have this.
I don't know what that says.
What is it?
Chthonic Skyway?
Wow, cool.
These are great titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Maria?
Maria? Cool. Keep it coming.
Yeah,
keep
thank you guys.
Keep
it coming. If you're watching.
Oh wow. Okay. Thank you for all the comments.
Let's come back to
everybody.
that later, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next piece, woohoo, I'm so excited.
This is the first of our 2 big, huge
Yeah.
collaborations.
Mhm. Yeah, and actually when everything started canceling, we immediately decided, okay, remember Shoji, we talked about, well, we can't do this in person, so what does that mean? So actually, going back a little bit, backstory is, so when Amy and I first met about 2 years ago, in UK, I was in UK teaching a workshop, and after that we were really connected, and then so we started collaborating digitally. So Amy lives in Grimsby and I live here in LA, and so throughout the 2 years we've been doing a lot of digital collaboration. So what you see today, all the things, it's what we've been doing for 2 years. We were so excited that we can actually finally be in person and play and collaborate, and all of a sudden this happened.
We had to go online anyway.
Yeah. But then we're like, oh, this is what we're good at.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 2 years now. And then Shoji, when you said, let's figure out how to do this digitally, then we're like, oh, why don't we invite all the friends that we can now, because we're doing this digitally. And so the next piece is called Nakama no Koe. Would you like to tell a little story about that?
Yeah, so this is a project that came out of the Women in Taiko project. And I was part of a group of women that got together in Northern Ireland. It was organised by Foil Obon and Humber Taiko. And we got together for a week. And we composed a piece, and the idea was that this piece was going to be something that we could put out into the community. So it's a completely open source piece, and since that happened, for the last couple of years, ManMan and I have been playing a version of it. So the piece itself, it has a song, it has a dance, it has taiko. We've taken just the song section, the Japanese lyrics.
And so last
melody.
summer, Amy was here for a couple of weeks, and we worked with Joel Menke as his Refo studio, and we recorded. So I heard comments saying that you want an album. Yes, we laid down all the tracks, so the album is happening, it's coming. And, so we actually laid down the tracks for Nakama no Koe. So when we start preparing for this virtual concert, we're like, oh, we have this. Why don't we send that to all our friends who are involved in the Women in Taiko movement and invite them to join us and play? So then, we can hear Shoji. So then, yeah, so this is a huge project. Yeah.
Initially, the plan was to invite everybody that was part of writing this piece in the first place, and so it was going to be like a reunion. And then we thought, well, let's just invite
all the women
everyone.
in Taiko.
All the women in Taiko.
We reach out to many of our friends that have been part of the Women in Taiko movement and ask them to join. And so this piece, Nakama no Koe, means our voices. So yeah, let's look at it.
Yeah. Oops. nothing if it wasn't for our fathers. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for our mothers. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for our brothers. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for our sisters. I thank you. So I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of the whole world spinning. I tune in to you. Yeah, I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of everyone singing. I am what I am because of you. I'm not surrendered to the sound that channels through. For our neighbors, I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for our teachers. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for our anchors. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for our ancestors. I thank you. So I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of the whole world spinning. I tune in to you. Yeah, I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of everyone singing. I am what I am because of you. And I surrender to the sound that channels through. Oh, I am what I am, I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for these mountains. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for these oceans. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for these forests. I thank you. We'd be nothing if it wasn't for this harvest. I thank you. I'm humbled by the sun that warms us. I'm humbled by the love surrounding us. So no matter what I think I lack, whatever I can offer back, it's yours. So I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of the whole world spinning. I tune in to you. Yeah, I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of everyone singing. I am what I am because of you. So I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of the whole world spinning. I tune in to you. Yeah. I let my head out, get it all out, listen to the sound of everyone singing. I am what I am because of you. And I surrender to the sound that channels through. Yeah. I am what I am, I thank you. Oh, I am what I am. I am what I am, and I surrender to the sound that channels through.
That was awesome.
Ooh. So we want to thank you.
Yay.
Thank
I see what
you.
you did there. We want to say thank you to everybody that was involved in Nakama Nakai. I want to say thank you to both Chiara and also Chiara Voltolina, who played handpan at the beginning,
Yeah.
Chizuko,
Diana,
Eileen, Emma,
Fiona,
Isabel,
Junko,
Karen Falkenstrom, Karen Young,
Linda Hoffman,
Lisa, Lucy,
Mel,
Pat,
Ruth,
Sarah, Shona, Silka,
and Yurika.
woo!
And actually Melanie
Oh!
Absport.
Aspok.
Melanie Epspo. Melanie Epspo.
Who also designed
Our
the
logo,
Mhm.
the beautiful logo that you saw at the very beginning.
So the girl that you saw playing the violin in that video, she also designed.
We
our
met
logo.
her in Austria when we were at a festival.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mel.
thank you.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
yeah, I
So
just took a
great.
video of Shoji bobbing his head.
That's gonna be on
listening to
Instagram
Amy.
later.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload that. Yeah. Amy, you want to talk a little bit about your thank you song?
Yeah, so I wrote that thank you song that you heard after that piece in January this year. I left home in December to go traveling, and the plan was to travel until kind of summertime, beginning, middle, end of summer. I didn't have a date. But now, and with circumstances, it's looking like I'm going to head home after my time here in LA. I don't know when I'm leaving yet. Thank you for letting me stay. So I wrote this song. I was feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. I was at the time I was living at my friend Juliet's place, who let me stay for as long as I needed, and she was super kind and amazing. And so I wrote that song in her basement. So that's where that came from.
Yeah. And speaking of space, we also want to thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, so the three of us have been sharing this tiny space because Scott started working from home as well. So there are times like, Scott, we're recording. Stop moving. Hold your cough. Yeah. So and also he's been offering his opinions, his ears to a lot of things that we're doing, writing. So thank you, Scott.
Oh, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
And Amy, would you like to talk a little bit about your idea of honesty box?
Yeah, so the way that we organized this, when we were trying to think of ways that we can make this live stream work, we decided to take down the Eventbrite page where we were originally selling tickets for the live show. And a lot of you offered to donate those tickets anyway, so thank you so much for doing that. We really, really appreciate that. And we were trying to think of alternatives. And I really love the concept of the honesty box. I know that whenever, I walk a lot, I spend a lot of time walking around my local kind of area, and there'd be times where me and my mum and dad, hi mum and dad, I miss you, we'd be walking and we'd walk past a house, and they'll be selling plants outside or potatoes or something they've grown, and they have a little honesty box. It says, put some money in if you would like, otherwise take it. And so that was kind of the idea with our GoFundMe page, is suggested donation $5, but if you would like, you can donate more. And most people donated a lot more.
Yeah,
So
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
That's really overwhelming.
It feels very validating of what we do.
Yeah.
But we also are mindful that this is happening to everyone and really affecting everyone's finance situation in a very in a way that we've never really imagined, and not still processing how to handle this. So we want to keep this open and accessible. But we also don't want to deny the fact that this is our work, our profession. So that really the concept of honesty box that Amy suggests really worked out well. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for tuning in to watch.
Yeah, thank you.
So I also since we since we streamed the Nakamoto Koi, I also want to highlight one of the things that we experienced as we putting this together.
Sure.
So it's just really interesting. This is one of the topic that we talked a lot about in the Women in Taiko conversation, is how a lot of players feel that they're not good enough. So when we reach out to many friends to participate, and I'm not just referring to this piece, Nakamoto Koi, just in general, I ourselves experience that too, is when we record and we look at ourselves, and then we're like, oh, I wish I can do better this or here and there. Shoji agreed too. I remember singing to Shoji, let it go, let it go. and so we keep receiving messages from friends saying that, sorry, that wasn't good enough. It's okay if you don't use it. I'm sorry. It's almost every email they receive with a file, it starts with sorry. And when Amy and I were editing, putting all these clips together, we just look at that as look at that, look at all these talents here,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. We sound awesome, we're so good. And and it's just sometimes it hurts that why we keep like it's good to improve and hold ourselves to a better standard. It's also okay. We are okay. You're okay. We are okay.
We are okay.
Yeah, so like this is a really amazing journey that I wanted to share that part of the story, to encourage us that we are okay. Like, let's do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Right on. So inspiring. You too.
Shoji's face.
Yes. Hi, Shoji.
No. Don't show me. No!
So this is a good way to segue us into the next two pieces that we're gonna show. So the first one, we call it Gurgle Jam. So again, it's inspired by Kris. So that piece is actually an improvisation. So Amy and I like to do, when we do a live performance, we actually like to open sometimes with improvisation, because I get really nervous before I perform. And I love improvising because it's a way for me to meditate, to embrace the impermanence nature of performance. But then when we were recording it, it's like, how do we,
We did so many takes.
We did, but then we ended up go back to the first take.
Yeah.
So that's. I also want to say thank you. Actually, you will see that I'm using one of the Asano Taiko's new design, hybrid taiko, which is a hilado that you can put it as naname and beta. I'm really thankful that I have this drum at home. With Katsuji's help, I'm able to afford this drum, and now actually having my first proper taiko at home at this time is like, oh, I'm so glad I can play. So this piece is like we're improvising, and I'm still exploring a lot with the taiko. And then after that, we'll go into a piece called Waterfall. And so I actually wrote this piece after went to ECTC. Amy and I went to Niagara Fall and the Ithaca Fall. And so I wrote a poem like reflecting what I was going through, and then sent to Amy, and then Amy wrote the music. So it's a collaborative process, and you will see Shoji in it too. So here it's Gurgle Jam and Waterfall.
As I free fall into the new world, crashes the circles, twist and turn. My paths will make cracks in the rocks of this heavy wall. Free my soul, I'll dance as I free fall into the new world. Crashes the circles, twist and turn. My paths will make cracks in the rocks of this heavy wall. Free my soul in the water. Will always fall into the water of this calm, calm river, and the water will always fall into the water of this calm, calm river. Dancing in circles, plunging down the fall, bursting through my heart. Free my soul, dancing in circles, plunging down the fall, bursting through my heart. Free my soul. Will always fall into the water of this calm, calm river, and the water will always fall into the water of this calm, calm river. Dancing in circles, crashes the circles, twist and turn. Our paths crack through life's heavy wall. Free our souls, will dance as we free fall into the new world. Crashes the circles, twist and turn. Our paths crack through life's heavy wall. Free our souls in the water. Will always fall into the water of this calm, calm river, and the water will always fall into the water of this calm, calm river.
Yeah, it's so fun. I loved playing along to the tracks, and I was recording those at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, like trying to after a long day of trying to get the kids homeschooled and taking care of everything, and so it was really nice to spend some time with you two. Virtually, I just set up my computer and play along with you. So, and what I really love about that one too, there was a couple in both of the sort of outdoor ones. There's all these ambient sounds, and some of them were like perfect for the song. Like in that one, like that like crow is like cawing and it's like doing it in time, you know? Anyway, it's perfect. And then yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just like the child I always am. I love the baseball bat.
Yeah, and the child
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah, the screaming.
Right now we have motorbikes.
Yep.
Out
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
can hear
that's
that.
Oh, did that one better?
There's a garage right next to us that fixed
Yeah.
those really loud motorbike.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's all part of the
That's
show.
great.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Yep.
great.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so the next piece.
Yeah. So next piece is actually a Cantonese song from the 90s.
Yay.
Last night we were joking how some of our pieces like really feels like an MTV 90s vibe.
In the best possible way. In the best possible way.
Yeah, my favorite. So the next song, it's actually called On the Muddy Road, in Cantonese, Lai Lo song. And it's actually one of my favorite canto pop songs from the 90s. It's a love song, but like what I love about canto pop from the 90s are the lyrics are so poetic. So that's why it was actually quite challenging to sing because I have to really enunciate. And then I remember sharing the song to Amy, and then Amy wrote the English version of it. It's kind of fun to sing and hear both Cantonese and English singing at the same time. Part of me, when we perform live, like for example the first time in England at a handpan hangout, and even though I didn't expect anybody who would like understand Cantonese, but it felt really, part of me feel really emotional being able to sing in Cantonese when I perform, because that's a big part of my identity. I'm a Hong Kong Chinese, especially with what's been happening in the past year. It means even more for me to be able to sing and say out loud, I'm Hong Kong Chinese. And this couple weeks when all this things are shifting and happening, and a lot of story of racism being told, and I personally actually experienced an act of racism towards me about maybe a week ago when we were at the park.
Exactly a week ago.
Exactly a week ago. 2 weeks ago maybe.
Was it?
Anyway, so when we were recording The Child I Always Am, actually. And I was shocked. We were all kind of shocked. But when I was reflecting on that, I didn't feel scared because I felt very supported. I also didn't feel angry because I actually have been feeling really grounded. And I reflect a lot on maybe because of the fact that I grew up in Hong Kong and I don't experience the same kind of racism that many Asian Americans would experience growing up in the US. And I realized how much of a difference it is when you have a strong foundation and community to support who you are and have the knowledge and education to understand why these behaviors happening. And so I really want to take this moment to thank our community, like for being able to provide the space for us to support each other, for us to have difficult conversation, for us to educate each other and share knowledge and be allies, and also be able to identify when you are experiencing oppression of any forms. Yeah, so that's a really long stretch, but whenever I'm able to sing Cantonese, like, this is what's happening behind my mind. Yeah. So this is Lai Lo song, On the Muddy Road, and here we go.
Oh wait. Oh no, that is right.
泥路上常與你踏着細雨歸來，所以伴着雨裏並遊，豈不快再雲淡淡常與你漫步細説將來，歌聲滿路，笑語滿懷，當初那知這是愛。
那份情，情懷沒變改，泥路上懷過去，有個愛字青苔，不經意地細細蔓延，竟將我心滿開。啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦啦。I used to feel lonely when the sky filled with clouds, but now I sing as they roll in and the rain comes down. I know that wherever my feet touch the ground, it's always there, the sky we share, even as cool rain falls, we're both warm. And as we follow that muddy road, we watch spring grow with help from rain and sun and love of our own. The season shows that every day changes with the setting of the sun. But like our love, when we look up, the sky it always goes on. And as we follow the mighty road, we watch spring grow when you need rain and sun and love of our own. The season shows that every day changes with the setting of the sun. But like a light, so say my name, the sky always goes high. Yay. I didn't tell Mujō that I was gonna include that. I just got like a stream of text message. What? Hi, surprise! Yeah, because I was really sad. I was really looking forward to be able to perform Gliding Dreams with Amy because when we first performed, when we first started working together, I flew to England, kind of out of a whim. and then we performed Gliding Dreams, and I play on the Odaiko and Amy on Hempan, and that's actually, I started writing this piece since 2015. Small fragments, too small! Yeah, and like it's finally, when we performed it in England was when I finally reached a point that like, oh, I can finally see what this piece is about. Took 3 years.
Yeah.
And so that was the last year, December, at Asano Taika US student recital version. Like I was really looking forward to the live concert that I can have Amy finally joining us and have that version. But oh well, we couldn't do that. So I asked Julia last week, can you send me the video? And so we just put that together a couple days ago. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you for providing that video.
Yes, thank you. So here we are. 2 more songs.
2 more songs to go.
Yeah. Yeah, so like our name, Project Ikigai. Ikigai means like the purpose of like who you are.
Reason for being.
Yeah, the reason for being, like things that drive you and motivates you to get up in the morning. So a lot of our collaborations have been the space for us to discover and embrace that, and come to realization of that too, like within some of the pieces that we did. And so we started thinking about, oh, what if we could provide that to other people as well? Can we make space for friends who come into our life who could also use music and creativity as a way to discover who they are, to find their core values within their music and through music. Yeah, so it's really great that turnout this virtual concert allowed us to collaborate with so many friends, and we're in our own comfort zone to discover. And we've been doing, I'm sure everyone feels the same too, we're doing a lot of reflection with all this shifts that we experience right now. Yeah. And would you like to talk about the next piece?
Yeah, so the next piece, we have 2 more pieces coming up. The first one that you're going to hear is one of mine. It's called The Sun Will Set, and I wrote it maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. With in mind, it was written for a school that I work in, and we were using, myself and my mum, we work together in schools. We were using it as a mantra to help the students there, but it's a really nice mantra for myself, and I find myself singing it a lot just to kind of calm myself down sometimes. And it turned out to be a really nice mantra for us when we were singing it during this crazy 2 weeks. So you'll see some guest appearances in there as well, and you'll see what I mean when it's kind of, the words, it's kind of very reminiscent of this time.
Yeah, and actually the name of my group, Mujō Creative. Mujō means impermanence. Like in Mujō is Japanese, and in Cantonese is small song. Yeah, so that's like we all embracing that right now, this very moment. So here is The Sun Will Set. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, hopefully you
Hi.
can hear us now.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Shoji.
Beautiful.
I remember when
Really?
we record that.
Super touching.
When we record that. By the way, thank you, Abby.
Yeah.
Abby lives just down the street.
So Abby was able to come and,
Yeah.
and join in with us.
And when we were recording that, that was a day that was hitting really hard for me emotionally. And yeah, it was really nice to be able to sing and play, then help us feel grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just now when I was watching her, just like crying again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Should
Yeah.
we move on?
It's okay, let's just during Michelle here. Yeah, by the way, thank you. I said thank you, Abby, and seeing the guitar remind me to thank Yuta for letting us use his guitar.
Thank you, Yuta. Yeah.
So we are going to play our finale,
Mhm.
the last piece, and so yesterday I was counting how many people, including me and Amy, are involved in this virtual concert. So there are actually total 45 people, amazing, beautiful human being, from 10 different countries participated in this concert. So the next piece is called "Come Dance with Me," and we invited as many friends as possible. I'm even able to connect with friends from Hong Kong that I used to play with, and yeah, and just now I remember logging in. Sorry, by the way, we have to turn off our Facebook, and we couldn't read comments on the live stream because it's affecting our Wi-Fi. So
We've read quite a few though,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to
Yes.
have you all with us.
yeah.
So.
I saw Cody and Chieko logged in the beginning. I was like, it's 3 a.m. Yeah, and so this is "Come Dance with Me," and the piece is originally written in Portuguese. I learned this from my friend Esteval from Brazil. And this is actually a song that I learned as part of the Orff Schubert level training in the Bay Area. And it's also around the same time that I started to plan, and I left Hong Kong and moved to the US, and so I couldn't quite feel comfortable to sing the Portuguese, so then I wrote the Chinese and English lyrics to the song that kind of reflect my experience thinking about that shift in my life. And always when I think about playing music with my friends from around the world, it's always helped me being grounded no matter how hard sometimes life could be. So this is kind of a dream come true for me, to be able to see all these friends from so many different places of the world come together and play this. So, are you ready?
We're ready. You ready?
I'm ready. Shoji, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here is Silandan, "Come Dance with Me" by Gabriel.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Thanks,
Wow.
Shoji.
Wow. Wow. My heart is so full. Thank you, too. Man, I think I speak for everybody when I just say thank you for putting this together and for just reminding us like what power art has, especially in this moment. And just my deepest thanks to both of you, and like congratulations on just a really, really amazing project. I know the both of you just put so much work into this, and you can just really feel it. Like it's yeah, it was an amazingly emotional experience just watching these videos. So thank you both. Really amazing job.
Thank you, Shoji.
Yeah, thank you, Shoji.
It's been an amazing experience for us too, I think.
Yeah.
Being able to collaborate with so many incredible friends and have all this support like coming at us for the last 2 weeks has been, yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah.
It's great to have this to focus on, and we also talked a lot about this when the two of us were figuring out who we are, what we could give, and this project is like so far the best like balance for both of us that we feel like what we're good at. Is at a really good level and contribution, because Amy's really good at editing and sound mixing, and then she could do it so fast within such a short time, and I'm just so excited to come up with ideas and connect and reach out and think of the bigger picture of what so we this actually, like, despite all these things, that unfortunate things that's happening, and this has been really a good silver lining.
Yeah, exactly.
When I think about like what our original plan was, you know, like when we saw each other at the On Ensemble concert, and you were like, "Oh, yeah, Amy's coming," and I was like, "Okay, well, what are you guys gonna do?" And like, "Oh, well, I don't know. Okay, oh, we'll do something. Okay, we'll just do something small, like a little performance here." And then, you know, and then the next step was like when all this went down and we had to like cancel that. Then it was like, well, maybe we could do like a small live stream or something, you know. And then the final step, which was like, no, we actually cannot get together at all. We need to totally, completely rethink this. It's just, I mean, I'm just struck by how perfect this is in this moment for you two, and this, you know, just the circumstances and your ability to just change with it and go with it. And I think, you know, there's a huge lesson for all of us here with this. It's like, you know, like, and just watching everybody like performing, it's like, you know, that feeling, that art, like, you know, we're alive, we have something to say, like each of us out there, like, you know, art is really, really important right now. Like taiko is really, really important. Our community is really, really important. And like, just being able to do it in this way, it's just, I mean, it's better than it could have possibly ever been. So, yeah, again, just so inspired by this. Like, great job, guys. Really great.
Thank you. It's really great that hearing all the friends telling us when they send the video, telling us this has been the greatest distractions, because being able to play, sing, and dance at home, it's really helpful, and it's a really good way to express. And I talk a lot about that when I went through 2003 SARS in Hong Kong. One of the biggest part was we never really processed that emotionally, how that has affected us. With, like, I'm talking about myself and my parents. And so this time around, like, even though I'm able to respond with how, like, cancellation and all that, with a better bandwidth and capacity, I really constantly remind myself, how can I create a space for myself and everybody around me to process this emotionally, creatively too. Yeah, so we want to say some thank yous.
Yeah, there's so many people we want to thank.
Yeah, and I forgot to thank you earlier. The first piece that you saw, I was using Practice Shimoku that is made by my friend Chung, and also this T-shirt, Taiko Together, Taiko Penguin. It's created by my friend Chung. She's also from Hong Kong, and now she's in Hong Kong, and she's actually sent me a box of masks along with all this Practice Shimoku and stickers. Yeah, so thank you, Chung, and also Chung did my website too. And so Practice Shimoku, I'm like, commercial. I have a bunch of them and anyone needs them. And also thank you, Kadong, for sending me the Timber Taiko. I'm so excited because like again, practicing at home, having options, it's really helped. And also thank you to all our donors on GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is still running, and we saw, like, as we were streaming, a lot of people started donating as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's
Thank
amazing.
you. Shoji is actually our very first donor because, like, 2
Yeah.
years ago, he just, like, shoved money. Take this.
Like, how can I support you? Do this.
Yeah,
you.
so you're the first one that like supported us to
Yay.
like go do this.
I really appreciate that.
We
Yeah,
also want
go
to
do it.
we also want to thank you all the people who were involved, and let's take a look at the
Yeah.
name of the people who have
Ooh.
been a part of this. So we
So
have
we have Shoji,
Abby,
Yay.
Akari, Aki, Alex,
Aki.
Angelita, and Nita.
Carrie, Kiara, and Kiara, Chieko, Chizuko, Kris,
Diana,
Eileen, Emma, Evelyn,
Fiona,
Heidi,
Isabel,
Junko,
Karen, Carizona, Karen Young, Katie, another Kiara, Taiko Kiara, and Kaori,
Linda, Lisa, Lucy,
Mana, Maxine, Melanie,
Nari,
Parker, Pat,
Razzie, Ritsuko,
Sarah, Shona, Silka,
Tyrone,
Vivian,
Wendy.
and Yurika!
Thank you so much, everybody, for sending in your
Yay.
videos and playing with us and keeping our spirits high and just generally being amazing.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So next, we've been just so focusing on this. We do have some plan for what's happening next, and as mentioned, we have our album. So now that we have all the time, we talked to Joel that we will finish it as soon as we can. Shoji will be in it, Heidi is in it, and many other amazing people are in it. And we also talked about hosting maybe a webinar to talk about our creative process to help other people or just create conversation of like give ideas of how can we continue this type of collaborations and just share ideas of how do we set this up and for other groups that might want to do similar things as well. So yeah, so stay tuned, and I also know that some of the videos through live stream, the quality, there's time lag issues, so we have plans to upload some of these videos to our YouTube channel, so you get to see the full version of those videos. Yeah, so stay tuned, and thank you for joining us. It's amazing seeing like up to 200 people's been sitting here watching with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Shoji, any last word?
Thank you. I think I've said plenty. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really, really amazing, and you guys are really leading the way, and I'm just really, my heart is so full, and I'm so inspired. I'm like, let's go. Yeah. So anyway, really great job, and hello everybody out there. Good to see everybody.
Thank you. And thank you Taiko Community Alliance again for letting us use their live stream. And they've been they're guinea pig actually. Yeah. And so everyone keep creating and keep exploring, stay connected and stay safe and healthy. And
we hope to see you for future projects very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye.